like he causes some havoc on defense. I mean, there's stuff he does to me that is
invaluable.
yeah. Yeah, that I think is just I think it's extremely
Okay, well, let
invaluable.
me ask you this: you want to see him get more minutes? We had this question. I mean, we've had this conversation since the beginning. Where take, you know, where would you take the minutes from, and what would we lose where you take minutes from and add them to him?
I mean, I don't think you lose a lot. I mean, I think, you take minutes from him. I mean, Javon Hadley, right now, in my opinion, I mean, I think he's giving. I think Kanai Roos giving you some things that even Javon can't right now.
That
And I mean, it's one of those things where I love Javon Hadley. There's nothing against him. I mean, but
right. We don't have to shy away from open competition for minutes. Trying to determine who gets what. Okay, let me run this by you. The game is tight. The ball swings around. Javon Hadley gets a wide open look from three.
Mhm.
Do you feel like we've gotten to the point where we expect that shot to go in?
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel bad with him shooting that.
See, I think he's been, like, since the second half of last year, he has been one of the most money efficiency 3-point shooters.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
He's got that Dwayne Sutton feel.
Yes,
that,
he's money.
When
Okay.
Dwayne got one in the corner, I mean, you felt pretty comfortable that was going to go in. Absolutely.
I didn't feel that way when Kanai Roots got those open looks.
Uh-huh.
I think
I could listen to that. Yeah, I could listen to that.
I think Coach Kelsey is seeing the same thing. You're not shooting that ball with confidence. I think he's worried that our machine is going to break down if Kanai Bruce can't hit that shot.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but man, I feel like he's given us something. And I'll get into we'll get into it here in a little bit about tomorrow and,
And,
in
yeah,
the
and
second
don't
hour,
get me
which
wrong,
I'll try
like,
to get into.
what Kanai Roos brings to the table when he's aggressive is a lot more than Javon Hadley overall,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
yeah, I could see that. I mean, I could see that, but I think we're at that weird meeting point right now between Hadley and Ruth's.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like we're at that weird transition point where it's like, okay, this young guy he's close. He's not overtaking you yet, but he's close.
Okay, how close
He's
are we?
finding his way.
How close are we to saying, big picture, we're going to need Kanai Ruths more later in the season? So it's time to start getting him more minutes.
I mean, you're probably getting there, but the only problem is, and now let me fight back against myself, the only problem is here is you'll get, I say this, I'll do this whole spiel, and then we'll go up to Indy tomorrow, which, by the way, I need to get a couple tickets to Indy. Elijah wants to go, and they are expensive, dude. The upper level seats are like $130 minimum. Like,
Ooh.
Jesus, man. Like, anybody? Oh, look, I'm like, anybody over U of L? Somebody help me out, man. Help me. I'm trying to go to the game. All right? I'm trying to take my son.
What are the tickets at?
Dude, the upper levels are like 130 to 150, 160 a ticket. I'm like, I don't mind sitting in the upper level, but dang.
What's Indiana ranked?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they lost the other night, but I mean right now, yeah, they're top. I think they're top 20.
Are they just abusing the system with that?
Well, I mean their fans are all going to be there because they play in the Big Ten title game Saturday night. But yeah. Somebody, if anybody's deciding they're not going to go, I'll pay for them. I mean, I'm not saying I won't pay for them, but if anybody's on the fence about going and you got a couple, let me know. I will pay you and take those off your hands. But yeah, God forbid, But yeah, no. Anyways, It's one of those, man, where I'll do this whole spiel, and then Javon Hadley will come out tomorrow and he'll have 16 and 12, and I'll be like, well, that's why he's playing. you know.
Maybe Javon was a bad matchup for Arkansas, but will be a better matchup for Indiana.
Could be, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it could be just that.
But I do need to
I
start.
think we may need to take a quick break.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick.
Messages that maybe we need to.
Okay, we can do that. Quick commercial break. Get a good reset, a good sound reset on 939 The Ville.
If it's Louisville basketball taking on the Hoosiers, we're talking about
down,
it.
We got to have a great response, and we got to have it quickly because here we are.
Nick, you there?
To fly home.
Yeah.
Guys got to get sleep, and we play a really, really good Indiana.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So, it's like it's a delayed echo from my end from what you hear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Steve sounds fine. I sound brutal, but we don't have to worry about me. Let's just get your echo taken care of.
Let me disconnect from this focus right and try really quick, just to see.
Okay, Steve.
Okay, give me a second.
Okay, take your time. I'm going to check with Nikki. Okay, I hear a bit of an echo on that.
Yeah, you're still echoing.
I know. Hold on. Okay, let me. I'm gonna check one over here. Tell me how much it's echoing. Okay, I still
Same.
hear it. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna close all my other windows over here. Let me mute this. to the Indiana game. Like I said, I'm sure you'll get a good recoverage of that and other stuff from Steve and Nikki in the second hour. So to complete the conversation of Arkansas, and I'm not okay. What I'm doing is, first of all, let me give a shout out. Speaking of being heated from the sound break, temperature control is and always will be one of the most valuable resources one could have. If you agree with this sentiment, then DFH Company is most certainly the company for you. Simply dial 968-6222, or you can look them up online at dfhcompany.com. Make sure you look into the Mitsubishi mini split like the one we use here at the 93.9 studios for that hard to heat, hard to cool room in your home. Again, 968-6222, or look them up online at dfhcompany.com. So here's the thing. Just so I'll give you all context to the Kenai Roots, Javon Hadley conversation. I want the length and athleticism of Kenai Roots. I want him at his highest activity level. Again, I still think right now that Javon Hadley is the better college basketball player. But I'm basically picturing us getting Arkansas in the second round or Arkansas in the Sweet 16. And I want to be able to put a lineup out there that can beat them. And I just worry. Here's the thing. If Javon Hadley could get efficient scoring around the basket. Now, I know Coach Kelsey has a ton of trust in him, and he gets some strong, tough buckets. But I feel like Javon Hadley in the paint is where Kenai Roots is on the three-point line. And one of the two have got to get more consistent. Javon Hadley, when we clear out and when we get you backing guys in, the point-blank shots in the float, you have to be able to convert those by using glass. Kenai Roots, when that ball gets around to you and your feet are set on the three-point line, you have to be able to either get your feet set and knock down the three-pointer, or be in a triple threat position where you can explode. Mostly your long step to the right will get us out of some trouble. It'll get us some points at the basket. Kenai Roots, the way he cuts and the way Khalifa finds him, he can be an effective guy at getting his points around the basket. It was this time last year. There's 2 points I want to make. This time last year, I was saying, where are our easy buckets going to come from? I don't know which number game was Tennessee, but every time you played big, physical, bigger athletic opponents, I always say, where do our easy buckets come from? Because sometimes it's hard to flare against those athletes. That Iverson cut against those athletes, it just puts the ball in so much jeopardy. And unfortunately, this is not a dig. This is the way the world is. Listen, what do they say? Father Time is undefeated. It works the other way. Father Time is also when you have a young point guard. Kenai Roots is a sophomore. You need him out there. Those angles are not comfortable with the flares. When you had Chucky Hepburn, Terrence Edwards Jr., Rain Smith, they hit the flare actions and the cut actions with senior confidence. We don't have that yet. It takes time. We don't have a cohesiveness. That's one part where you see the difference in us running our offense. We still need to get some cuts and some good, easy baskets. Number two, this was the good thing. Chucky Hepburn, he wasn't setting the world on fire at the beginning of last year. He started getting better once he got comfortable and once everybody got comfortable with each other, if I remember correctly. Terrence Edwards Jr., the light clicked on. They all didn't just start off crushing it, right? It was one of those moments where I was just doing notes and I was kind of trying to figure out, when did those guys' lights come on? What? Game 8? What are we in, game 8, 9? It feels like we're right around that area where Chucky started just getting really sharp, and Terrence started getting really sharp, and just the team defense just stepped up another notch. Now, you don't want it to be because of a loss to an SEC opponent that just all of a sudden the spark went on. But if that's what it took, then I'm 100% okay with that. If it took that to make the team go into laser focus mode, I'm really okay with that. To get that extra bit of desperation, to get the desperation with the loose ball, because listen, the time I felt that Coach Kelsey was the most passionate was like the out physicality, if that's even a word, the physical nature of not the rebound when it first came off the rim. It's that second one. We are designed on defense to get the rebound or make sure your man doesn't get the rebound. Even if you have to knock it out of bounds, even if you have to knock it to one of our other guys so they can get the rebound, our team rebounding is one of our calling cards, right? That second batted ball is the one that'll get you benched. To me, in Coach Kelsey's world, that'll get the whole lineup taken out. That'll get a whole a platoon change. If I were going to say who's the best at going to get that second and third tip, my lineup is like Kobe Rogers is in my lineup. Isaac McNeely is in my lineup. And again, this is my tough second lineup. I think Sananda Fruit is getting every single game. His physicality is going up. His willingness to stay on his feet is going up. So like if I need a rebound unit, if I need a stop and a rebound unit right now, I mean, listen, Javon Hadley is in there fighting for it, and I would never bet against him. But right now, Kenai Roos for that loose second and third ball, I feel like the ball ends up in Kenai Roos' hands a little more. Now, again, this could change one game against Indiana, but I don't think Indiana is going to be as scrappy and physical and as juiced around the basket the same way. I mean, every team is going to get up from you, and Indiana is also coming off a loss, so you can assume that they're going to be going through the same kind of pep talks about being tougher and all that good stuff as we're going through. But I think we're going to have to be a lot more mindful about the substitution pattern of who's playing desperate, getting the loose balls on defense. Again, that's my rebounding second chance, third chance effort segment. We talked about Kenai Roos and Javon Hadley, the other thing. With the point guard situation, that's another thing. If I'm making adjustments, I would, this is just a scout for me and my point guard. This is the one thing I've been thinking about a lot, Marcus. How do you get him out of the big game early shooting struggles? I would say Michael Brown. I would just, like a tweak. I mean, listen, You got to play the game free, of course, I understand. But if in the back of your mind, you just say, hey, I want you to get 2 layups and 2 free throws before you shoot any threes. Now, again, the ball swings around to you, you're wide open, you take the shot. But I want you to go into the game trying to get 2 free throws and 2 buckets around the basket. He is a wildly athletic player. He is an extremely crafty player. But I just think he needs to see the ball go into the basket, and then he can as a point guard, he can eliminate the pressure from his head to try to hit the big shot. I think going into these games, it's funny. I was explaining this. I was explaining this just last night. Michael Brown, and this is going to sound incredibly ridiculous, but it'll make sense to you. There's no way to not compare Michael Brown to what we just saw in Chucky Hepburn. I was explaining to somebody. Michael Brown, or a younger player. Let's just put younger player on it, but he's the youngest guy, so he's kind of wearing this. If the score is 2-10, it's just 2-10 to a Chucky Hepburn. It's only 2-10. It's an eternity of time left in the game. Like I said, let's just say it's 16 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. You've barely played 3 minutes and 15 seconds. It's 10-2. Chucky Hepburn comes up the court and says, I need to get to the free throw line. And it'll be, if I get to the free throw line, I'll hit the 2 points. Or if I get a layup, it's 4-10. And we're only down 6 with an eternity to go. Sometimes I think with young players like a Michael Brown, he's like, I need to hit a 3 so it can be 5-10 before, because if we don't, we're risking it being 13-2. I think he thinks we need to catch up right now. Coaches always say there are no 8-point baskets. There are no 10-point baskets. It used to irritate the bejesus out of me hearing it growing up. When you get rushed, when you get down to a senior, 12 points is nothing. To guys that are used to being able to shoot really, really well at the college level, again, older guys, 12 points is nothing. On the road, when the crowd is rocking, it's still 8 points. It's just 6 points. It's just 12 points. To younger guys, we got to catch up quickly. So early buckets in the basket and early free throws out of Michael Brown is something we need. For the bigs, we'll start with Frew in this game. Now, Frew has an opportunity against Indiana to look like a dominant big man. If Frew takes the energy that he brought in Arkansas, he's going to have a fantastic game against Indiana. A fantastic game. The spacing that Indiana plays with, fundamental. They play fundamentally sound. I'm telling you, y'all, Arkansas made us step up our speed, our physicality. I'm not in the mood to talk about the officiating. I'm not in the mood to analyze how the officiating affected our style of play. I just, like I said, I'm going on to Indiana, but if we play Listen, Michael Brown, he can get that ball to Sananda Fru on the roll. We've seen a lot of that role opening up to our players. Get Sananda Fru on that roll. You get him finishing a couple of buckets in Indiana. Because here's the thing. Coming off this last game, Sananda Fru and Ali Khalifa will not be challenged. Okay, that's like in the notes, that's like opportunity to get the confidence in our bigs are right here, right in front of us. Of course, Michael Brown, early buckets, got to get that. Sananda Fru, early buckets, get him in the game early. If he gets a bank shot early, like a layup early, where he doesn't have to dunk it, he just gets a, man, he had a couple follow-ups too, didn't he? Not a hypothetical question, but it's a what's the word I'm thinking of? It's a rhetorical question. I got to stop complaining about Sananda Fru tipping the ball in. He has an extremely soft touch on his tip ends. Thank you, Twa. Yeah. He has an extremely soft touch on the tip ends. And normally I'm like, dude, dunk it or grab it, come down, go back up strong with it. And I'm about at my fourth game where I got to shut up. Actually, we'll give him one more game. Now, if he tries to tip something in and he misses, then I'll go right back to 0 and say, you need to catch that ball, get the full rebound, go up and dunk it vertical. I'm looking at the text line. Me says, Roots is the key. He or Michael Brown Jr. in the forward position. You know, I was going away from the Kenai Roots conversation, but I'll actually apply the Kenai Roots situation to Michael Brown Jr. And I'd say that about Kenai Roots. You know what? That goes in the game plan notes as well. If I get Kenai Roots 2 buckets and 2 fouls early, actually, I would put that on the coach. Run something that gets Kenai Roots a clear out to the right. Put some action going on behind him where people are busy and occupy some people, and give Kenai Roots a right-handed drive and say, hey, you got to get to the basket on this one. You got to get to the basket, under the basket. If you get him under the basket, you got to power through him or pump fake and get him to foul you. Get 2 buckets and 2 free throws, and he'll be legit for the night. Okay, I'm reading one. U of M men need better defense when they are not hitting. I thought they played good defense to not be hitting. And like I said, that Arkansas, that's a big challenge. A lot of guys that can get to the basket, a lot of guys that can break you down, tall, tough, athletic. I thought they did a good job. Now, you got to remember, every time we were coming back, Arkansas went to the line. Arkansas got bailed out. Okay, if you say better defense, we fouled too much, that's one of those you got to live with. I understood what Coach Kelsey's saying, because there's no blaming the calls. You have to do better. Actually, you know that they were mindful about it, because a lot of times, if you pay attention, I'm blanking. Adrian Woolley, he will put his hands, and fold them up behind his back, just to make sure He doesn't get anything tic-tac on the out of bounds or the movement. Like he's conscious of making sure I keep my hands out of it, out of the cookie jar, so to speak. So one more thing. This is one more thing. This is just the Marcus Maben special. And I remember, like I said, the game could be changing. It could be changing. Philosophies could be changing. But I want people to pay attention to this when you're watching the game. I always thought you have to force the point guard to one side or the other. Now, philosophy-wise, I don't know. The first time I heard this was in the student activity center, and DeJuan, we were downstairs in the basement at the gym, and DeJuan was telling me, he said, Maben, he sounded just like this, Maben, players is just too good, man. He's like, you gotta send somebody to one side or the other. You can't stay in front of somebody and let them choose which way they want to go. So I want people to pay attention to this on the defensive end. I think sometimes we just try to stay in front of somebody instead of forcing them to go where we either got our help or we take away their strong hand or something like that. Like I thought late we let too many guys decide where they wanted to go, and we didn't dictate where we wanted to push. And I think Arkansas, I think all the good teams will force you to go one way where our help is. Even if it's to your strong hand, it's where our help is, and we'll take our chances. So I will be interested in seeing, so like when Kobe Rogers comes in, they're going to one side. Kobe Rogers is pushing you one way or the other. I think that's the next step at us being a really, really locked down defense. Like I said, we played hard defense. We play really hard defense. We are in position on the help side most of the time. Like I said, I guess Ryan Conwell kind of got caught ball watching on the alley-oop, but again, that's a good design play. Jeff, you agree? Yeah, you got to make them go one way or other. Like I said, it's hard for me to critique the way these guys play defense because they play so hard, but you got to push them to this. So that's one more thing to be watching for. Again, I think you're going to see an elevation in Kobe Rogers' minutes because he's just too tenacious. There won't be lineups where Kobe Rogers is outmanned. And I don't know if Coach Kelsey is doing and like I said, his minutes don't have to come from Michael Brown, but he is just too tenacious to be on the bench. A part of me in the back of my mind is thinking, this is what I'm thinking. And this is one more theory. You can check it out when the game starts. I'm sure Steve and Lieberman will do a better job breaking it down than me because, like I said, I get lost into nerd world just thinking about 4 layers of basketball psychology that I could be totally wrong. Here's the thing, and I don't coach, and I never wanted to coach. Ow. I think right now, this would be the last kind of like player-centric note, individual player-centric note. I think Kobe Rogers is Coach Kelsey's ultimate security blanket, right? I think Kobe Rogers can score. I think he can get to the basket. I think he knows what to do with it around the basket. I think he knows how to protect the ball when he's driving to the basket. I think he can play strong. He's a winner. I think, and it just sounds so bad. It's almost like I think Coach Kelsey's just saving him. Do you remember how excited he was for Kobe Rogers when he, got back out there on the floor and had a good little run. Sometimes I'm watching it and I'm like, dude, get him back in the game. Keep him in the game. Like, do you see the energy level? Do you see the intensity level that Kobe Rogers is providing? Like, and I don't know how confident he is. Like I said, when he's hit a couple shots from the corner, but he has a first step that if he gets anybody running out at him, he can take away an angle offensively in no time. I think, listen, if you want to get Michael Brown up to speed and you want to get him as many minutes as possible, listen, that is 100% philosophy I can back. Get my young fella some minutes, all that good stuff. I don't think the rest of the players need the minutes to be effective. I think they're effective just by, making good decisions, playing hard, all that good stuff. I don't think they really, they're bothered by the minutes. I think they're self-accountable. Okay? But Kobe Rogers, individually, I think he affects a game. The pace of the game, the energy of the game, the intensity of the game changes more with him in the game than anybody on the team so far. I think it has the potential to change the most with Cason Pryor or a extremely aggressive Kenai Ruth. Now, the Cason Pryor, again, I'm going to put that one on the shelf. I'm going to put him on the shelf. When I see him move without thinking, he looks like he's ready to go. But that open court, listen, by yourself, you don't want to use one leg. Your timing's not right. That's what you saw in that. You saw timing and lack of confidence on the Cason Pryor break. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe you sat Cason Pryor for the next 3 games. And I hate that idea. Because I need Cason Pryor. I love his size. I love he's He's a variable. He's a variable that I need on the court. I especially need him in big out-of-conference matchups against top 20 opponents. I need Cason Pryor out there. But that, like I said, that stutter by itself says, hey, we just need to get you exercising at high intensity. I mean, we're talking about we just need you working on explosion. You gotta do explosion drills. You're gonna have to get your full confidence in your explosion before we can sit you out there. Just confidence wise. Other thing, big picture. I want to see our press. Against Indiana. I've seen a couple little tweaks in our press. Now, there's one more thing I want you to just look for. Sorry if I'm dumping this stuff on you. It was just notes before the game. Our full court press has a chance to be very effective against Indiana if we use it. But we started doing something a little different. Instead of our second guy going to trap, we're kind of going back to turning the guy away. Now, my favorite thing in the world in a full court press is, again, starts with this. When the one guy, look, I'm kind of doing this on YouTube. You got one point guard guarding the guy, getting the ball inbounds. If you get him going to the right side, then the left guy needs to come up and trap. If you get him going the other way, the other guy needs to come up for the trap. Don't trap guys when they're looking at you. Turn them one time, and that would be the rule. Turn them one time, and we'll have somebody there to jump and trap and press. But again, your cornerbacks, your basketball cornerbacks have got to be ready to intercept the ball. They have got to be ready. If they're ready, because listen, the downside is if you miss, all you're going to hear is, woo! And you're going to hear a whole bunch of Indiana fans rocking and rolling because there's going to be some guy on the back end of our defense getting alley-oop dunks. And then I'm going to look stupid because everybody's going to be like, you're going to be sitting in the chat tonight for the midnight show talking about how stupid Marcus sounded, talking about why the hell are we pressing? We don't have the athletes to press, and I thought we did. Then I'm going to look crazy. And then we're going to have to go to the game. I'm going to have to clip up stuff. I'm going to have to go all Coach Lieberman, Coach's Corner, video clips of where we should have had the trap, and it should have worked, but it didn't. But that's all that I can kind of provide for it. Again, Nikki, Steve, Lieberman are going to cut the second hour. Let me make sure. We've had a bad echo with Nikki, so we couldn't even, let me text Nikki. Getting out. Sorry about that. If we got any kind of producer at the studio, let me see, is there anything else that I wanted to pass along? Because as soon as I get off this air, I'm going to be like, gosh darn it, I should have did this. I should have told him that. I should have did a 6-man parlay. Okay, he's playing. That's fine. Okay, good people. Actually, let me give one more shout out before I get out of here. I want to give a huge shout out and special thanks to one of the most trusted members of the team. That would be one Kentuckiana Pump Sales. For every home, building, business, or municipality that all rely on the movement these pumps provide. People, I'm not sure about the time of the play out, so I'm just going to cut it out right there. Citadel Roofing and Construction. Shout out DFH Company, Derek A. Stewart. Kentuckiana Pump Sales. 93.9 DeVille.